Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin will face House lawmakers on Capitol Hill today, answering tough questions from the Armed Services Committee about why he spent days in the hospital but did not inform the American people or his own boss. In his prepared remarks, House Armed Services Chair Mike Rogers says, quote, "It's totally unacceptable that it took over 3 days to inform the president that the Secretary of Defense was in the hospital and not in control of the Pentagon. Wars were raging in Ukraine and Israel. Our ships were under fire in the Red Sea, and our bases were bracing for attack in Iraq and Syria. But the commander-in-chief did not know that his Secretary of Defense was out of action." Florida Congressman Michael Waltz serves on the Armed Services Committee, so he'll be asking some questions today, and he joins us now. What are you going to ask the Defense Secretary, Congressman?
Yeah, Todd, this is just really incredible. I don't know if you've seen the report that he released. First, nice try having your chief of staff, your internal staff, study this rather than an independent IG investigation. So that's one who made that decision. But I think more importantly, and this is the most important of all, was it him or was it a member of his staff that deliberately decided to not tell his deputy why they were transferring authority to her? By the way, she was drinking mojitos down in Puerto Rico at the time. She didn't know to come back to Washington, D.C. because she wasn't told. So who made that decision? Who made the decision to not tell the American people? And who made the decision to deliberately not tell the commander-in-chief for days on end? It's a dereliction of duty. And I think what you're going to see today is, well, this was about process, and we've learned to improve those processes. No, wrong. This isn't about process. This is about bad judgment from someone in one of the most important positions in the world. And this isn't about your privacy. It's not about you. You have to leave that at the door when you take that oath. This is about the American people and the mission. Then they were let down.
Quickly, we have to move on, but are you calling for the Defense Secretary to resign?
I don't see how he could not.
Got it.
How could he enforce discipline on a military if he can't follow basics himself?
Understood.
Look, a barista at Starbucks would know that you have to tell your supervisor and you have to cover your shift, much less, again, the Secretary of Defense. I guarantee you there have been submarine captains and base commanders fired for this type of offense. How could he enforce discipline if he doesn't do it on himself?
Meantime, James Comer says Hunter Biden will testify publicly following yesterday's private testimony. Both sides said things went great. Watch.
This was a great deposition for us. It proved several bits of our evidence that we've been conducting throughout this investigation. But there are also some contradictory statements that I think need further review.
Hunter, how did it go? How'd it go? Great.
Congressman, do you think there's enough from yesterday's deposition to impeach the President of the United States?
Look, here's the three things that we know, and these are crimes. Hunter Biden was representing foreign governments to his dad, to a government official, the Vice President of the United States. That's a violation of Foreign Agents Registration Act, number one. Number two, we know from whistleblowers that there was obstruction of justice in terms of investigating whether they paid taxes on all of this money flowing in from foreign governments. And then number three, we already have Hunter being prosecuted now, thanks to the work of this committee and a sweetheart deal that fell apart for tax evasion. And then number four, we know that he commingled funds with dad. You can't take, that's basically back-ending yourself into a bribe. If you take money from foreign governments, and not just any foreign governments, our adversaries, through a family member to pay your bills, that's it. So I think we should move forward. We'll see what comes out of this deposition with the rest of my colleagues. But I hope that they see that this is, we can't let this stand.
The Democrat response was Russian collusion. So that's interesting that that's what they take from all that. Of course, there are responses. There's no evidence, even though you just laid it out beautifully. Finally, I need a quick answer on this. Mitch McConnell saying he's going to step down as Senate Republican leader in November. Your reaction to the news and who replaces him, Congressman?
Well, I know a lot of people are frankly frustrated with Senator McConnell. I'm frustrated. We see more McConnell-Schumer statements than we see McConnell-Johnson statements in terms of siding with House Republicans. But here's what I'll leave you with, regardless of what you think of Senator McConnell, his legacy with judges, his legacy in the courts. We would not have the Supreme Court we have today without the work of Mitch McConnell, and he should always be remembered for that.
We got to leave it there. One name we've heard bandied about, guest on this program often, Senator Tom Cotton potentially replacing Mitch McConnell, so we will see. Congressman Mike Waltz got a big day ahead of him there on the Armed Services Committee. Good luck. Have a great day.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.